Ooh, welcome. Bet you thought that was going to be a Halloween episode.
Yeah,
No.
I thought that was a ghost, perhaps.
No ghost, just a fucking idiot for a host. I'm Brandon Perna here with Will Keys. We're going to go through the Divisional Round pick'ems through the ESPN Pick'em League. I got a sneak peek at our picks from last week. Not so great, Will. We didn't do so hot. I think we got burned by some of the prop-type picks. But what can you do? Now, usually Will and I talk a little Broncos news, but there's none happening. I mean, they're interviewing coaches. They're interviewing all the coaches, but we've known that. We don't get any details really from the coaches' interviews. According to Woody Page, the two front runners are still Nathaniel Hackett and Dan Quinn. Hackett Quinn, 1A, 1B, 1B, 1A. We don't know which one George Paton actually prefers. The world thinks it's Dan Quinn. I don't know. Tom and I were debating whether or not Dan Quinn would be a good head coach again this morning. I say yes. And Tom says no. But we don't know. Nobody knows.
All we know is that today they didn't hire anybody. They interviewed Gerard Mayo from the Patriots, and they are going to Philly to meet with not Rich Gannon, Jonathan Gannon, that's his name. Tomorrow they've got Kevin O'Connell in person, and then Brian Callahan over Zoom. And then finally,
Eric Bieniemy?
The last one, Eric Bieniemy in Kansas City. So they have to go to Bieniemy territory.
Ooh, are they doing that Saturday, Bieniemy?
Friday.
Yeah.
Oh. They got a game Sunday.
They could so the Broncos, in theory, could announce who they've hired Saturday.
They could.
Maybe
yeah.
Friday.
Yeah, well, it's possible.
I mean, unless, I don't think Bieniemy's getting the job, but last interview, they could offer it to him on the spot, or after, you feel like going into your last interview, if that candidate doesn't blow your mind, you know which guy you're leaning towards because you've had enough time to think about Quinn, you've had enough time to think about Hackett, so maybe Saturday or Sunday they announce, or maybe out of respect for current coaches coaching this weekend, they wait till Monday to make an offer, make an announcement, because maybe you don't want to say, Nathaniel Hackett's your next head coach right before the Packers playoff game or something like that. But
yeah. Say you want to give it to Kevin O'Connell, for instance, and you try to announce it hours before they're playing. Yeah, it's kind of weird timing. Could throw things off.
I don't know a lot about George Paton, but I know he's classy. I know he's classy as hell.
Man. He's a classy man. He's a tactician. He's as hardworking as they come.
Oh, so hard.
He's has the longest list of interviewees that I've ever seen. It's a possibility that they do a second round of interviews, right?
Yeah, I mean, in theory, sure.
I mean, let's get it done. Let's get it done. Come on. It's probably going to be Dan Quinn, but let's get crazy. Let's get Mike McDaniel from San Francisco. He's a cool guy.
Oh,
I like that guy.
McDaniel's. He's the kind of guy you just want to hang out with and bullshit for an hour. About anything. It seems like he's going to be able to riff with you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's
I mean, that's the thing is you get Dan Quinn. There's the possibility that you bring over Mike McDaniel from San Francisco because McDaniel was there in Atlanta with Dan Quinn. They have a tight relationship. McDaniel is a recovering alcoholic. Dan Quinn helped him.
Oh, really?
Through some tough stages of his life.
I didn't know that.
They're very simpatico. That's a possibility.
Ooh,
the other thing
that gets me excited. That gets me
does that give you a little jolted?
Will, that gets me excited.
The only thing that gives me pause, if you really want McDaniel, I think you should hire him as your head coach, like the Dolphins are trying to do.
Yeah, well, the Dolphins are interviewing him for head coach.
Right.
I don't know.
Here's the thing about Quinn is if you get him as offensive coordinator and he does well, he's going to be gone in a year. He's going to be the head coach somewhere else.
Maybe. I mean,
you want like a McVay, LaFleur, a guy who's going to be sedentary and he's going to have a system and it's going to stay the same. Whereas if you get Dan Quinn, the offense is going to change every year probably, or every couple of years.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that would be a ballsy move though, because a head coaching gig is it's different than play calling. It's a lot different.
Sure is.
And I have no clue if Mike can do that. I know Dan Quinn can. I know he can, and he can do it at a high level. So, I mean, but you could, like, Nathaniel Hackett could bring, Luke Getsy with him to be his OC, because that would be a promotion for Getsy. I mean, Getsy, like, depending on what happens with the Packers, then he's maybe deciding between just moving up as OC in Green Bay or going with Hackett somewhere else. Don't know. There's some interesting possibilities, but I like the idea of Quinn and Mike McDaniels, right?
Just one McDaniel.
Yeah, I already said no more McDaniels.
Yeah,
I already said no more of those guys in Denver, but after watching all those press conference clips of him, he excites me.
I will say Woody Page was pushing Mike McDaniel back in December. That guy's got his finger on the pulse. I tell you what.
Yes, he does.
And
he's probably got a great relationship with Kyle Shanahan.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Oh, it's have insider sources.
The Broncos paved the way for Mike McDaniels. Damn it. Which one is it, Will? Is it plural or not? It's just one. No S.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel. I love him so much I don't even know his fucking name. But the Broncos paved the way for him because they went after old Rich Scangarello back in the day, right? Got him out so Mike McDaniel could fly. So really, maybe LA was letting McDaniel cut his teeth in San Francisco just to ultimately get him to Denver. It's like, I really want that guy behind him, way behind him. I don't know. I don't even know if he was on the team then, but it's destiny somehow.
Yeah, I think he's from Colorado too.
Oh, where?
Let's see. Let's do a little Googling.
Please.
I like that we decided that we're Aurora. So.
Oh! Bring him home. He can stay with me. He can stay with me until he finds a new house.
Mike, if you're listening, Brandon has a guest room. It's very nice.
I do.
They've washed it. They've washed the sheets since I stayed there.
We have washed the sheets.
And hopefully since Adam was there too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we washed it before you were supposed to stay with us last time, and then you blew us off. So,
yeah, that's true.
But that worked out because my wife's mom's here right now, so we didn't have to wash the sheets because they're already clean.
So I helped you out in a way.
Basically, you were our Rich Scangarello.
I like the idea of like having a prodigy and then sending him away to the 49ers like it's boarding school.
Yeah.
And when it's time, ushering him back.
Yeah.
But they have not requested to interview him as a head coach, so it's not going to happen this year.
No, not as a head coach. Maybe he comes over as OC. It's probably, well, you never know. Who knows what the Dolphins will do? They're a wild card. I think they're kind of high on Dable as well, so we'll see.
Are you surprised they never requested to interview Brian Dable?
The Broncos?
Yeah.
A little. I think
little
the question
strange.
with Dable is how much of it is him versus how much of it is Josh Allen just being a freak, you know?
I think he helped make Josh Allen into a freak, though.
He did. He definitely did. So you like him to possibly develop a quarterback, but maybe he doesn't come off as the best leadership type guy. I don't know. I know Bills fans love him. I know he's well respected by everybody there, by the team. So, I don't know. I'd just be guessing. Maybe he once insulted George Payton.
Yeah, that's the only explanation. I think they have a blood feud going back several decades. Also, He's a former Patriots assistant. The more you stay away from Patriots, the better off you probably are.
Boo.
And Alabama. Yeah, come on.
All right. Let's see here. Let's take a look at these picks from last week. Look at this. First place, we got a tie between Connor Kennedy, Nicholas Uhas, and Sean Parker, founder of Napster. Oh, I kept thinking Netflix. No, it's Napster, baby. 12-3, 120 points scored for you guys. Great job, because Will and I only scored 80 points, putting us at 39. Rank 39.
Nowhere to go but up.
God, we suck at this. Steve's in there, tied at 10. Kevin, Travis Moody, who won the whole league. Ooh, Travis, you better pick it up. Also, if you came in the top 3 of the pick'em, shoot me a message on Patreon. I'll get you some coffee or a shirt or just an autographed nude, whatever you want. Autographed nude of Will. I got a nude of Will that I will autograph.
Yeah, previously you were using that as blackmail.
Yep.
But you got nothing to blackmail me for, so you just kind of need to offload that.
That's right.
Before HR
and
finds
when you
out.
see the nude of Will, you'll say, this is definitely not a blackmail.
Certainly not. Certainly not.
Here we go.
You got me. Yeah.
Here we go. All right. First game. Bengals, Titans. The Titans. Oh, close here. 44 taking the Bengals, 56 taking the Titans. I think this could be a ugly, close game. Working on the official prediction episode as we speak. Just went through Bengals Titans with a fine-tooth comb. I did, Will. And by the end of it, I became undecided on who I think actually is going to win this game, because I can see how both teams do it. I just think Derrick Henry is such an X factor right now in terms of
he's gonna play. He's gonna play.
Him playing, but like, how effective is he gonna be? That's my question. I think if he's Derrick Henry, full-fledged, they win. But I think the Titans secondary is a liability against all of those playmakers the Bengals have in the passing game. So,
yeah, you could say that about the Bengals secondary too, when it comes to the Titans throwing the ball. And both these quarterbacks are really, really, really hot right now. I think Tannehill is 7 touchdowns, no picks in his last 3 games, all 3 wins. Burrow, last 3 games, all wins, 10 touchdowns, no picks. So we could see a very watchable game here on Saturday. And this is just like the quintessential Saturday afternoon game, isn't it? Bengals, Titans. No way they'd ever put this on Sunday, unfortunately.
No. The NFL hates these teams. They hate them.
They really do. They really do. The poor Titans, they got the 1 seed and they're They've been so thoroughly disrespected.
The
by
most
everybody.
disrespected 1 seed ever, and for that reason, I'm going to take the Titans.
Let's take the Titans. Let's
take the
them.
Titans. The Bengals, I love them. I think their offense it'll be like you'll be talking about the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Bengals offense in the AFC for, I think, a while. But Henry comes back, and I just see him grinding away slowly until late in the fourth, the Titans take a touchdown, and they win by a couple points.
Okay, 2 points.
All right. Question. More receiving yards. Jamar Chase, A.J. Brown. Wow. 86% taking Jamar Chase.
I think Jamar is a safe bet, especially if we think Tennessee wins. They could be trying to come back from behind, throwing the ball a lot. Yeah, I don't think this really has too much on the outcome of the game. Jamar Chase played really well last week. And like you said, I don't think they have one single corner that's going to match up well with him.
No shutdown corner. Like, you can put Cheeto Bay Awuzie on A.J. Brown and expect like a pretty good performance from Cheeto. But, we'll go with Jamar there. Will Derrick Henry score a touchdown? Oh, fuck yes, he will. Opening series, he's going to score a touchdown. Lock it. All right, which of these players will record the most passing yards this round? Ooh, Burrow, 39%. Garoppolo, 1%. Tannehill, 2%. Aaron Rodgers, 59%.
I think I like Burrow.
Yeah, I like Burrow too, because Rodgers, while the best QB in that bunch, it's not like the Packers have put up godlike passing yards numbers this season. They've been like just maybe one of the most efficient passing yard type team.
Yeah, I was going to use the word efficiency too. I don't think he hasn't been a big volume guy in terms of yards. That's kind of been Tom Brady's role this year.
Yeah.
But Rodgers is by far the most efficient passer left in the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go with Burrow. I like that. Who will win this matchup? The 49ers or the Green Bay Packers? 86% of the people taking the Packers, who do have a lot of advantages in this game.
Yeah, namely, their biggest advantage is that they are a better team.
Better team. A better quarterback who's not dealing with a hand and shoulder injury, which may render him not available to even play. I think, if you're the 49ers, do you just lean in to Trey Lance? Start him this week? Game plan your whole game around Trey Lance?
Oh, man, that's a really tough.
Don't get me wrong, Jimmy Garoppolo's good, and he got the win over the the Cowboys last week. But he wasn't incredibly impressive. He threw a horrible pick late. And maybe Trey Lance, you brought him in. A big reason was his athleticism. And you've beat the Packers before by running the ball up their arse. And if they got to defend a quarterback who's going to run as well, that might be just a interesting approach. If I'm the 49ers, I'm like, do I risk playing a slightly above average quarterback who's got a hand and shoulder injury to his throwing arm, or let's just hand over the keys to the guy we spent all our draft picks on right now, and let's just start it? I kind of like the ballsy. I like starting Trey Lance. I just talked myself into it.
Yeah, it's not his first start. He got some. I think he got 3 starts during the regular season. Played really well in his last start, albeit against the Houston Texans.
But the Texans, to credit the Texans, their defense played a lot of teams pretty well down the stretch. So,
yeah, I
think there's a little more credibility to his performance there.
I think that's a good point. That's a good point. Jimmy Garoppolo is 20-6 on the road as a starter.
Ooh,
That's something to think
good.
about. He plays well away from the home crowd. I was going to say, though, a key for the Packers is just like have a defender 5 yards behind every 49ers receiver because Jimmy Garoppolo is going to overthrow a pass at some point in this game.
No shit.
And it's going to turn into an interception.
Yeah.
Just like camp out behind the receivers, and Garoppolo is going to float it right into your arms.
He's going to float it. Do you think Trey Lance can come in and give you better than 172 passing yards and an interception?
Yeah, but I think that undersells what Garoppolo did. I know that turnover was really, really bad late, but he did manage the game pretty effectively and help them build that lead.
Yeah.
No, but I'm not against it. I think you definitely need an exceptional offensive performance to win in Lambeau. And I mean, if you go back through the history of this series, Packers haven't beaten the 49ers in the playoffs since 2001. And if you want to look at it recently, the 49ers beat the Packers 2012 in the playoffs, 2013, and a couple of years ago, 2019, just ran the ball down their throat. These two teams played earlier this season, and the Packers actually did a really good job against the run. But it's a different running game today than it was back in September. Elijah Mitchell didn't get any carries in that game, and Deebo Samuel only got 2. So those are the guys that are going to carry the load against the Packers. It's a more effective rushing attack today than it was back then. So I expect a little more success on the ground. It's an interesting game. It's really hard to pick against the Packers in Lambeau, though. But I don't know. You can also see Packers, they lay eggs sometimes in the playoffs.
Not this season. Not really this season. I mean, they did week 1. They did week 1, but
no, I mean in the playoffs.
I'm not going to bet against them right now. I think they're getting
probably not
too many pieces back. I think Aaron Rodgers is mentally indestructible right now. The caveat is if they go out and they start Trey Lance, I give the 49ers a 49% chance to win that game. Okay. Over, under. 24.5 completions by Aaron Rodgers.
Over.
Okay.
Just barely.
Yeah, it feels like he has between 23 and 27 completions.
Yeah, I think he'll go like 25 for 32 or something.
That makes sense. All right.
Should be a really, really good day.
Yeah. Who will record more receiving and rushing yards? Wait. Deebo or Devontae? Wow, that's interesting because Devontae Adams they don't use him to do any rushing. This feels like it should be a question. This should be Deebo Samuel versus like Aaron Jones, not Devontae.
Yeah, but Devontae Adams, he is like you're betting on him to have
a huge game,
30 receiving yards like he did when they played earlier this season. Devontae Adams, he averages about 100 yards when he plays the 49ers and a touchdown. So it's not – you have to count on Deebo Samuel to have 100 yards from scrimmage, which is certainly not out of the realm of possibility. I think this one's really, really close.
Yeah, I do too. We'll go – what do you want, Devontae?
I don't know. I think the 49ers will do everything they can to slow Devontae Adams down.
All right, so Deebo.
Harder to scheme against Deebo because he can hit you in several ways.
Yeah, he's so fun to watch. All right, then we've got the next game. But this seems like a great time for me to remind you about DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. We're on to the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is celebrating with a huge odds boost for new customers. Counting down to Super Bowl 56, you can get 56 to 1 odds on any team. You bet just $5 and you can get $280 in free bets if the team you placed a bet on is victorious. Not a new customer? Well, you can still get in on the action of the divisional round with same game parlays. Combine multiple bets from that same game for a big time payout. Of course, if you took Darrell Williams as an anytime touchdown scorer in the parlay you did last week, you might lose. But I hope you have better luck than me. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code DNVR, and get 56 to 1 odds on any NFL team. Bet just $5 and win $280 in free bets if your team wins. That's promo code DNVR for 56 to 1 odds at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Okay.
It's a tough one. Tough one coming up.
This is, to me, well, the next two, really. Well, all of these games are tough. I'll say this about all the teams playing this weekend. I can see any of them going to the Super Bowl and winning. You know what I mean? Like,
you see the Bengals and the Titans both winning the Super Bowl?
Yeah. No, I could. I don't think like they're perfect, but they're not like a tragically flawed team. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you worry a little bit about their secondary or whatever, but both of them can keep pace with any offense in here. But the two closest teams right now, in my opinion, are these two, the Rams and the Buccaneers. 45% of the people taking the Rams. Nice. Will, you want to kick it off here? What are you thinking? What are you feeling about this game? What is your loins telling you?
You know who I'm thinking about in this game?
Tom Brady.
I'm thinking about Von Miller versus Tom Brady.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Von ripping his fucking face off.
Tom Brady is 0-2 against the Rams since joining the Buccaneers. They didn't have Von Miller in either of those games. They do now.
Yeah.
When we started this podcast, I wanted to pick the Buccaneers, just thinking about the Von Miller matchup against an injured Tristan Wirfs. How can I pick against the Rams? They look so good on Monday night. And yeah, the Cardinals looked really, really bad too, but they set things up so well for Stafford not to screw up, and he did not let them down.
They protected him very well.
I think Cam Akers looked really good. You got Sony Michel, who's playing. I always thought it was weird because Sony Michel kind of buried the Rams in Super Bowl 53. And now he's trying to help them get back to the Super Bowl, playing against his former quarterback, Tom Brady. Whew, man, I love this game. I love all of these games, to be honest.
Yeah,
it's
this
really
is a
good
fun
slate.
game.
I want to take the Rams. I know we're just doing exactly what we did last week. We picked the Eagles to beat the Buccaneers. That was probably the stupidest prediction in the history of predictions. But let's run it back and take the Rams. Come on.
Let's take the Rams. The difference is the Rams, we know for sure, have a great head coach. Eagles, jury's still out. We know for sure the Rams have a good quarterback. The Eagles, jury's still out. Maybe Jalen Hurts was even playing hurt. Don't know. The Rams' defensive front, like the Eagles actually did in that game, can definitely get to Brady, can make him uncomfortable. The Eagles' defensive front kept them in that game, but I think the Rams have a better defensive front. I worry about the Rams linebackers because the way the Buccaneers negated the Eagles getting pressure was just a lot of short, quick passes. Short, quick passes. And I've like said this 3 times now, but it was boring. It was boring as hell watching them. They just slowly went down the field with uninteresting plays, but it worked. And can you name either of the Rams linebackers, Will?
Whew, man.
Yeah.
Not counting Von Miller, obviously. Not counting Leonard
talking
Floyd.
inside backers. And not Kenny Young because he plays for the Broncos.
Oh, Ernest Jones? See one of them?
Let's take a look.
I mean, this is tough.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Tough.
There's a mismatch there that I worry about.
There is.
Christian Roseboom, Troy Reeder, Traven Howard. That's what I got.
Yeah, it's going to be up to Von Miller and Aaron Donald to get there really, really quickly.
Yeah.
Really quickly. You have to tackle the first time.
Yes.
And I trust the Rams to do that. I do.
Yeah. Ernest Jones is on IR. Yeah.
Okay. Jalen Ramsey is going to negate, like you said, either
Mike
Gronk
Evans.
or Mike Evans, probably Mike Evans. And then they don't have a lot of depth behind Evans right now.
Yeah.
It's Tyler Johnson, who was a little inconsistent last week, made some big plays, also dropped a couple passes. And then you got like Scotty Miller, Brashad Perryman.
Scotty Miller.
I think the Rams can win with those matchups. I think they win the game.
And, the Rams really need a big game out of Cooper Kupp. Like
They do.
They need him to do the 140 yards, 2 touchdowns, the whole shebang. But we'll take it. It's going to be close. It's going to be fun. God, get it, Stafford. All right. Who will record more passing touchdowns, Stafford or Brady?
I think we got to go Stafford.
Ooh. Okay. I feel like it's going to be Brady, even in a loss, but let's go Staffy. Over under 10.5 combined receptions by OBJ and Gronk.
Under.
Okay. I kind of like that too.
Especially if we think Cooper Kupp's going to have a big day.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be crazy if Odell had like a 150-yard game against him, which he could easily do, but all right. Which of these players will record the most receiving yards this round? Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Cooper Kupp. 54% of the people taking Cooper Kupp. Wow. So everybody's thinking what I'm thinking. We need a big game from Cooper. I kind of like Diggs.
I was going to say my first instinct was Diggs against a suspect secondary in Kansas City that Ben Roethlisberger was physically unable to take advantage of.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, to me, it's either Diggs or Kupp. Let's just say Diggs for fun.
Let's take Diggs to head.
Because I know who we're taking in this last game, and it's not the Kansas City Chiefs.
Buffalo all the way.
Buffalo all the way this time.
Before the Dallas Cowboys defeated the Buffalo Bills in Super Bowl 27, we talked with a few fans in each of the cities. And that's when we met up with this enthusiastic fella. Wait till you hear what this guy says, pal.
Goes for the Dallas Cowboys, and we're the Bills. And I can't wait to rub this in his face. He's been telling us this for over 10 years about Dallas. Now it's the Bills. Buffalo all the way this time. 3 times. The 3rd time is the charm.
Well, it's like the sixth. The 6th time might be the charm. Dallas did go down. So maybe finally the pathway is open for Buffalo. 51% of the people taking the Bills over the Chiefs, 51 to 49%. I feel
that
like
kind of scares me. I'm not gonna lie.
Why? Too many people believing in the Bills?
betting on a road team. Everybody putting their faith in a road team is a little troublesome.
Well, I think it's because the Bills' win last weekend was more impressive than the Chiefs. Both offenses looked unstoppable, but the Bills did it against the Patriots, and the Chiefs did it against TJ Watt. They had to play one guy, basically.
They played one guy. They played a team that was lacking in offense.
Oh, my God.
So I know you and Grossi were having this conversation on GPS about Josh Allen versus Mahomes.
Oh, yeah. I took Allen. I took Allen.
Yeah, no, I think Allen, those guys, the last two games that these guys played were kind of a perfect encapsulation of who they are, because Allen was just kind of steady and scored a touchdown on every drive, kind of methodical. And then Mahomes, 5 touchdowns in 11 and a half minutes of game time. The Chiefs are like they scare you because they are the snowball offense.
Yeah.
They're like an avalanche, I think it's more fair to say. The Bills are a team that is capable of scoring a touchdown on every possession. Everything goes right. The Chiefs can score 35 points in one quarter. That's the team they are. But they can go cold too.
Oh,
they're capable of going cold. I don't know. I don't see the Bills going cold in this game.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, the Chiefs didn't score the entire first quarter against the Steelers. I mean, they didn't really
score negative
They're well
points.
into the second quarter, right? Before they scored, TJ Watt got the scoop and score. Both teams threw touchdown passes to one of their linemen when they were up by 1 billion points. I think there's creativity on both offensive sides of the ball. We saw the creativity bite the Chiefs in the ass, though, right? Like, who handed the ball off on that fumble that TJ Watt scooped?
It was a running back.
Yeah. Was it Jerick McKinnon handing off to Darrell Williams?
I don't think it was McKinnon. I'm not sure who it was.
I forget, but it was like.
But it's dumb.
You're looking for one of those plays.
Yep.
Josh Allen hasn't been sacked for a really long time. And I think the Bills found how they attack with their run game, which is make Devin Singletary the feature back, get him touches, because he's really good and he's been good, but also don't try and hold Josh Allen back from running. It's
especially not in the playoffs.
He's had it's like every time the last, I forget, month. I have a stat for the video tomorrow, but since like December, him and Singletary have combined for like 900 rushing yards. But it's like Allen gets 60 rushing yards almost every game, and he does it in key spots too. That's what's like crazy. It's like a 3rd and 5, and Josh Allen takes off for 30 yards.
He picks up big demoralizing chunks.
Yeah,
and Mahomes does too.
That's the thing. They're like so similar too, the way they play.
But Mahomes, like, he finishes his runs like tiptoeing out of bounds, and Josh Allen will just run right through you.
Yeah, he'll hurdle you, he'll run through you. You can't go wrong with either QB. I just think Josh Allen is playing a little better.
I do too. I think he's playing a little more consistently. Obviously, he's making plays out of structure. I think the Steelers, once they realized their offense wasn't going to do anything, I think that defense just kind of folded, and I don't blame them.
Yeah,
it's like the Steelers are not keeping up in this game. It's not the Steelers. It was okay. So last week was a bad wild card round. However, it eliminated all the teams that weren't meant to move on.
Yeah.
And I do think that the 8 remaining teams are the best teams in the NFL.
Oh, totally agree.
The 8 best teams. I think we're I think we're in line for an insanely close slate of games.
Yeah,
And I think this
all
one's going
these
to be
games
really close.
are coming down to final possessions. That said, I think Mahomes will actually have more passing yards.
Yeah.
And again, it's because
I'll go with
one,
that.
Josh Allen and the Bills, I think they're gonna run it a little more than the Chiefs will. The Chiefs will abandon the run without hesitation, and they'll keep their backs involved with just short passes. They had a ton of passes behind the line of scrimmage last week, so we'll go Mahomes. All right, over under 5.5 combined passing touchdowns by Josh Allen and Mahomes. Oh, that feels like an over, right?
Over. Let's do it.
Hammer the over.
I can already tell you yes on the next one.
Will Travis Kelce score a touchdown? Yes. Is that what you just said?
Yes. I put my cursor on over yes. It's not like you can see that.
Nope, I cannot.
That was
All
dumb.
right. That's all those picks. No, we did. We did
I
it
feel
up.
good. I feel good about these picks.
Yeah, we'll see. Scared about the Rams, Bucks. Scared about Bills, Chiefs because they're coin toss games to me. They're like games. I feel like if those teams played 5 or 10 times, each team would win 5. But we'll see. We're riding with the Bills. We're riding with the Rams.
What's rad?
Ooh, Bills Rams Super Bowl.
That'd be
You
fun.
rooting for Von Miller, or are we rooting for Buffalo all the way this time?
Emmanuel
Good God.
Sanders.
Yeah, Emmanuel Sanders, Isaiah McKenzie. We'll basically call it a Broncos Super Bowl, Will.
That's pretty much what it is. Yeah. 40 minutes every time.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
We're so consistent.
40-minute podcast, whether we have a lot to talk about or nothing. Alrighty, Will. Enjoy playoff football this weekend. If a Broncos coach is hired, we'll probably have a podcast up, an emergency podcast.
Emergency
If not,
style.
We'll smell you guys next week. Good night.
John Elway played his entire career without an ACL.
Fuck you, Tom Brady.